Hello again. In these strange times that I've faced these past few weeks after being victim of UK police terror at the hands of Northumbria Police and Adam Lloyd, 1812, at the behest of Rachel Hudson, as I've stood up for gross corruption in the family court and care system. I find myself reflecting on Churchill's history of the English speaking peoples. There's a particular passage I'll share with you. In harsh or melancholy epochs, free men may always take comfort from the grand lesson of history, that tyrannies cannot last except amongst servile races. The years which seem endless to those who endure them are but a flick of mischance in the journey. New and natural hopes leap from the human heart as every spring revives the cultivated soil and rewards the faithful, patient husbandsman. I think it sort of tells us that tyrannies seem very dark, but really only our own passiveness can allow them to persist forever. That's not calling for violence or revolution, but people perhaps need to make a choice of what they value and to what extent they're willing to see their liberties taken away from them. I'm going to reflect on it also in terms of the previous videos I posted in terms of the Hughes's Dawn Sturgis inquiry, which is invite us to believe that two alleged Russian agents can walk down a fairly densely populated cul-de-sac on a midday on a Sunday and walk up to a property which is occupied, open fronted, and without protective equipment, just bend down and apply a deadly nerve agent to a door handle and then walk away on the same route. Nobody sees them, no CCTV, no eyewitnesses, and so on and so forth. Like my own scenario where it's alleged as a pretext for the tyranny that I suffered. Police forcing their way into property, taking devices away, terrorizing my wife on the pretext that I spray painted a car 9 and 10 months prior. No evidence, no CCTV, similar playbook effectively, and then to be asked question, putting it to me that I reacted poorly to receiving an email from the family court 2 months after the last alleged bout of vandalism on the car. So I would have, in fact, can only assume that I evaded the CCTV via a time machine. But tyrannies also engage in despotic presentation of information and so on and so forth. You need to be aware of it. I mean, as I explained, the war in Ukraine is a current threat and the current example of that. Whereas, as I said, I don't encourage invasions. I don't back the invasion. I understand the provocations the Russian Federation faced, but I don't condone the invasion. It wasn't without provocation. Any notion that says it was is lacking in understanding. But Europe saw it as an opportunity to engage in a proxy war and potential regime change in the Russian Federation, and did so on the premise that they could use Ukrainian lives and American money and chip in some money themselves. Now, the administration of Donald Trump have paid to that. He saw the realities of the war, and very tragically, Ukrainian lives are running short too. And instead of face the reality of that and have to go back to their populations that they're already taxing incredibly high, the Europeans don't want to face that reality. And if you look at the press at the moment, it's engaging in almost jingoistic um, narratives to um, portray an inevitability of war with the Russian Federation, which need not happen. Nobody wants it, apart from those who are in positions of authority. Um, in wars, the majority suffer, and a very well-placed minority make a fortune from it. We're seeing that now. Mainstream media, Sky News, BBC, and so on and so forth, trying to ready a population for the inevitability of a war that doesn't need to happen. There's no reason why it should. When I was in Poland in the summer, um, they're the same. Nobody was interested in war in the Russian Federation. Just people wanted to just get on with their lives, and it's something we have to keep our eyes open to and push back against and say, what is the rationale of this war? There is no evidence that the Russians want to invade all of Western Europe and the United Kingdom. There's absolutely no um, evidence to support that. It's absolute nonsense. A war would be catastrophic and possibly existential for either side, um, and it must be resisted. I'll resume my narratives on my own case and the corruption in the family court, and how children are being emotionally sterilized and turned into cash generative assets to be traded with private equity owned agencies soon. It's taken a little bit of time from that, starting to recover mentally. Looking forward to return to normality, but I will try to face down the tyranny of Rachel Hudson, Northumbria Police, and in wider circumstances, probably people beyond them. In the meantime, take care. I'll speak to you soon.